Every creature that has ever lived has been lied to by its own senses. A cognitive scientist named Donald Hoffman spent 20 years making that precise. He ran experiment after experiment, and in every version of the test, the organisms that saw reality most accurately died out first. What survives is not the mind that sees clearly. It is the mind that sees usefully. Natural selection has never rewarded truth. It rewards speed and the right response at the right moment, and nothing else. 4 billion years of pressure built a lens designed to hide. Your eyes are not a window. They are a map drawn by survival to show you what matters and conceal everything else. The color of the sky, the weight of a stone, the distance between your hands, these are not reports from reality. They are useful fictions kept because they worked. Hoffman called what we perceive an interface. The word was chosen with care. An interface is not wrong. It functions. It is, however, something altogether different from what it represents, and you are never meant to see through it. This episode is the attempt to see through. Donald Hoffman began with a question that sounded small. He asked whether an organism tuned to see reality accurately would, over time, outperform an organism tuned to see only what it needs to survive. The question had been assumed answered for a century. It had not been tested. The assumption seemed obvious. A creature that sees the world more clearly must navigate it more precisely. Precision leads to better decisions. Better decisions lead to more offspring. So truth perception and survival ought to pull in the same direction. That was the received wisdom, and it was wrong. Hoffman and his collaborators built the contest formally. They placed two types of organism in the same environment. One type perceived the world as it was, every signal at full resolution. The other perceived only the fitness value of each signal, a stripped reading of what mattered for survival. Then they ran the contest. The truth perceiver lost. Not narrowly. Not sometimes. It lost in every variation of the model, across every type of environment they tested. The fitness beats truth theorem formalized what the numbers kept saying. A mind built to see reality accurately is, by that very accuracy, slower. And slower dies. The reason is not complicated. To see the truth, you must read everything. Every detail of the light, the distance, the texture, the context. To see the fitness signal, you read one thing. What does this mean for my survival right now? The first is a portrait. The second is a verdict. And this applies beyond the hunt. Color is not a property of light. It is a fitness signal, calibrated by your ancestors to mark ripe from unripe, safe from poisoned. The redness of the apple is not in the apple. It is a code the eye invented. Space is a fitness signal. Distance is a fitness signal. The solidity of objects is a fitness signal. Your senses do not measure the world. They rate it moment to moment for survival. Every perception you have ever had was a reading in your favor, not a report on what is real. This is where Hoffman's question became something larger. If perception is not truth but a tuned reading, then what is it a reading of? What is the territory that the fitness map was drawn from? That question has an answer, and the answer changes everything you think the word reality means. Hoffman did not say the world is false. He chose a different word, and the difference is everything. A false world deceives you. An interface serves you. It is built to make something complex navigable, to show you what you need and hide what would slow you down. That is what your senses do. Your senses work the way a computer's desktop works. On the desktop, folders, files, a bin for deletion. None of these are the computer. The machine beneath is circuits and charges, switching faster than thought in a darkness that has no color. The desktop makes it usable. Nothing more. When you drag a file icon to the bin, something real happens. The underlying machine responds. But the icon is not the file. The bin is not destruction. They are displays, and displays behave consistently. They can be trusted for the task of using the computer. They cannot show you the computer. Space is an icon. The distance between your hands right now is a display your nervous system generates, not a property of the underlying reality. Other species inherit different spatial interfaces from the same evolutionary pressure. The honeybee navigates by polarized light. The shark follows electrical fields. They do not share your space. Time is an icon. The experience of before and after, of a past and a future, is a tool your interface uses to let you plan and respond. It is not a feature of what lies beneath. Physics has known for over a century that time is not what it appears to be. Consider what is around you right now. The table is an icon. The floor beneath you is an icon. The body in the chair is an icon. Each is a stable display in your interface, which is why it behaves reliably. But reliability is not reality. A consistent display does not reveal what it represents. A mantis shrimp has 16 types of color receptor. You have 3. It does not see more of the same reality. It runs a different interface, shaped by its own survival pressures, showing it a display no human has witnessed. Every species is an interface. There is no view from outside all of them. And yet the interface is not arbitrary. The icon of the file corresponds to something on the drive, even though it does not show you the drive. Your perception of the apple corresponds to something real. The interface tracks the territory it hides. It must, or you would not survive. This is the edge Hoffman's theorem opens. The interface tracks something real but cannot show it. Every icon points at a territory no perception can enter. So what is that territory? What lies beneath space, time, and solidity that they should be its icons? The next step is not science. It is something older. Hoffman did not rest at the interface. He pressed into the next question, the one the theorem makes inevitable. If everything you perceive is a display, then something must be doing the displaying, not merely showing what the surface looks like. What kind of thing generates a display like ours? His answer is not matter, because matter is one of the icons. The chair, the brain, the neuron firing inside the skull, these are all displays within the interface, exactly like the folder on a desktop. Hoffman names what is actually real a network of conscious agents. Consciousness is not what your brain produces. For 60 years, neuroscience has chased the moment when matter becomes experience, and every correlation has been found. Researchers can tell you which neurons fire when you see red or feel grief. But no one can explain why any of this should feel like anything. That gap is the hard problem. Hoffman's theorem gives a reason that gap cannot be closed from the neuroscience direction. The brain is not outside the interface looking in. The brain is inside the interface, exactly where your skull and neurons appear to be, and these are all icons. You cannot find consciousness by studying an icon of consciousness. What Hoffman proposes instead of matter is a network of interacting conscious agents, each of which perceives, decides, and responds. This network generates the physical world as a shared interface. Space, time, and objects are what the network looks like from inside one node. You live at one of those nodes. This means you are not your brain. The brain is an icon of something in the network, and you are the conscious agent the interface belongs to. The skull does not contain you. You are what the skull is a display of, and traditions knew this for millennia in language that needed no equations. The question is no more about what reality is made of. That is a question about icons. The question is what it is like to be a conscious agent in a network you cannot perceive, to be the thing that perceives before any perception has content. You are already that. The Hermetic tradition stated it as the first of all principles. The all is mind. The universe is mental. This is the opening claim of the Kybalion, and it means exactly what it says. What you perceive as matter is not the ground of things. Mind is. The principle of mentalism does not say the world is illusion. It says the world is real the way a mental event is real. The tree you perceive exists. It is not a tree independent of experience. The ground beneath it is mental, not physical. Vedanta reached the same conclusion independently. Brahman pure awareness is the only substance. Everything you experience arises inside it, the way a dream arises inside a dreamer. The ancient seers did not say matter produced mind. They said awareness came first. Matter was what arose within it. Buddhism arrived independently. Examine what you call yourself and you find only processes, perception, sensation, formations arising and passing. None of it constitutes a self. All of it arises inside awareness. The practice was to see through the formation, not to improve your grip on what was already passing. Plotinus described matter as the outermost emanation from the one, the most distant from consciousness, the least real. Different continents, different centuries, no shared vocabulary, no knowledge of each other. They did not converge because they communicated. They converged because each one turned toward the same fact. Hoffman did not discover something new. He formalized what contemplatives had already stated as first principles for millennia. The mathematics arrived late. Mind as the ground was already where every serious inquiry ended. The tradition you stand in was among the first to name it plainly. Knowing the interface is not the same as seeing through it. Every tradition that arrived at this conclusion also developed a practice, a way of shifting attention from the content of the display to the awareness that displays it. You have this capacity. You have always had it. The moment of practice is not reserved for a cushion or a temple. It arrives in an ordinary morning, when something in you notices that you are the awareness for which the cup on the table is appearing, and that noticing is the shift. The interface does not change. Your relation to it does. You do not abandon the desktop because you know it is a desktop. The icons still open files, and the urgency is still real. What changes is that the interface is no more the only candidate for reality. You act fully in the display while holding the possibility that what generates it is also here. Hoffman does not tell you to reject the world. He tells you to use it the way a sailor uses a chart, a map of something real, not the thing itself. The chair still holds you, and the face across the table still matters. But neither one is what you thought it was. Evolution built you a map optimized for survival, not for truth. But you are not only a survival machine. You are the conscious agent the map belongs to, and the map is not the territory. The territory is still there, generating the display, waiting to be known by a different method.